Hello,
Good evening,
and
everyone.
we should be live. And welcome to the Cove here, live at the command center.
Yes.
Did you come to be entertained? I hope you did, because tonight we've got a packed house.
Yes, we do.
We're going to start saying hello to some of the people in the chat. I see we got Mr. Diggs, always glad for collab. We've got Park Rat Pat joining us. We got Mark the Berg. We got Mark Miller, Gene with We Dig It, Marty's Visuals.
I've seen Guido.
I know I've seen Guido and Las Vegas Urban
Yes.
Treasure Hunter. And thank you all for joining us tonight here at the Cove. Conversations at the Cove.
Conversations at the Cove. Absolutely.
Hope you all have had a good day. Weather here was pretty good today. We got out and did some yard work and enjoyed it.
I know we have some others here as well.
Yep. And
FLX Detectorists, thanks for joining us. Please excuse the way I look, guys. Whew. It's been a busy day. Yeah. And I said I look like something wild, so you know. Tom Kingery, thank you for joining us.
Yes. I don't think we really have
up there. We don't really have any announcements, do we?
Really to make tonight.
No.
Other than get in with the guests. And who are you looking for?
I'll go up to the top. That way we can say hello. Yes, to everyone.
Well, they'll pop back.
Yeah, we got Stories Lost and Found. Just be
Lisa
cool.
with Adventures in Michigan.
Yes, Jericho and Hercules.
Tom Kingery. Yeah. So let's get back down here. That's much better.
Scott Sharp, thank you for joining us.
What do you say we go ahead and start bringing our co-host up?
Let's do.
Which is everyone welcome Rachel from Jersey Ray Diggs.
Hey.
And we're going to bring our next guest up, and everyone give a big Cover welcome to Ritchie from Madison, Maine.
Hey, everyone.
And Dennis from DF Digger.
Thank you for joining us, guys. We are so excited.
I'm nervous. I'm sorry, I'm nervous tonight, guys. So I'm liable to.
He's liable to
spit and sputter words.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. So.
Oh, no worse than what we're going to do.
We'll all do it together. JP Lonzo Moore, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining tonight. Well, I'm going to tell you first thing off, everyone in the chat.
Yes.
Let me add this up here real quick. Hashtag DFDMM and get on the giveaway that we're going to be giving away at the end of the live stream, whenever that may be. We've got 2 guests tonight, so we're probably going to run over for a while and hang in there as long as the chat keeps going.
Yes.
We're going to keep going. So everyone start typing this in just exactly as you see it, all in cap, DFDMM.
And what are they going to get this evening?
Well, they're right for starters. They're going to get a 1902 IHP. Let me do this.
There we go.
There we go.
David,
I'll do this. Hello. You're going to get a 1902 IHP. You're going to get this Pennsylvania colorized quarter, which is pretty cool.
Judy.
A sticker pack, some pins, a poker chip, and you know us, we always throw in cool stuff.
Something extra.
Always try to give stuff, but that's going to be the 2 main things: is the IHP and the colorized quarter. So I think people will really enjoy.
I think everyone likes IHPs.
Oh yeah, so let's do this. Hey, Grease Monkey, welcome. Brewers Prospecting, I see, has joined us. The Bud Files.
Yes.
Did you get Scott Sharp?
I got Scott Sharp. Absolutely. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes.
Please excuse us if we are kind of
nervous, because we're nervous tonight.
I'm not nervous. I'm just, we've worked all day outside.
Not all day.
Yeah.
For about 4 hours.
Yeah. That's all day to me.
Well, there's Team Lynch.
Hey, Team Lynch.
For joining. Well, I'm going to jump right in and start asking some questions. First off, I'm going to start with Dennis first, and then the question will go straight on over to Ritchie. What got you into treasure hunting?
Oh, pretty much gave up all my other hobbies because of my back, as most people know. Caused a lot of pain over the years. So, I used to hunt, fish, camp, ski, golf, and all that other stuff. But after my back finally gave out, I took up metal detecting. It's take baby steps for the most part, and somewhat easy on the body, but it gets me outside.
Yeah. How about you, Ritchie?
Well, back about 11 years ago, my YouTube channel used to be like a music video. I just put some clips together. This was back in the early days of YouTube when you could do anything you want. There's no copyright anything. And I got one video that I actually have 1 million views for back in the day.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
And gone. But I see these people metal detecting on YouTube. There was a guy, Adventures with Jim. I think he still does it, but he's kind of weirded out on me, so I stopped following him. I saw him and a few others on YouTube. I said, that looks like fun, so I ordered me a metal detector.
And what was your first metal detector, Ritchie?
I did a lot of research, and I got it down to two. The T2, Technetics T2, and the Garrett AT Pro. I ended up buying the AT Pro because it was waterproof.
Right. What about you, DF? What was your first detector, and what do you use now?
Well, I bought a Bounty Hunter Commando for my son back when he was younger. He never used it, set in the closet for years, and one day I picked it up and found a clock gear on my property. I was hooked. After that, I bought a White's Treasure Pro. Great machine. I wished it had been waterproof, but I upgraded to the Simplex and had that for the last 2.5 years. Been a great machine.
Hey, Brockton, thanks for joining us. Frederick Romano, thank you for joining us. And Team Lynch, yes, as well.
And everyone that's just joining, hashtag DFDMM, like you see it up there on the screen, and get in on tonight's giveaway.
Absolutely. BC Treasure Trails, welcome.
Hey, Robert,
now,
Melissa.
How long have you been detecting this and hunting this, what's it called? The Piscataquis River.
Since 2018. And I was down there with my White's Treasure Pro, and I was going along the edges of the river, and I found my first bell. After that, just drawn into the river from there, and all the history out of it.
He doesn't tell, like when we used to go hunting, he used to have that machine, used to hold it up behind him in one arm, and with the pinpointer in his hand and the other, dig out what he had because it wasn't waterproof. It was quite quite an acrobatic thing he used to do to recover his finds.
2 years doing it that way. I mean, you can hunt water without a completely waterproof machine, but you just got to be really careful with it.
Right.
And I dunked it in the river one day, real quick, got it out, dried it out with some rice and stuff. Worked ever since. But that's why I upgraded to the Simplex when that came around. I mean, you can't beat the price for an underwater machine.
Hey, Phil.
I know you're using the new Legend now, aren't you, Ritchie?
Yes, and I'm doing very good with it.
So I don't need to ask, do you like it?
Oh yeah. I also have the Expedeus too, and I haven't taken that out since I started water hunting. I've been water hunting the last month and a half. So that thing there is, I don't know what kind of alien technology they have, but that thing is something else.
Yeah, I've seen and heard good things about it.
Have you submerged it underwater yet?
The Expedeus, no. You got to put an antenna on it, and plus it's
that.
made to be light. It's not heavy duty like the Legend. So
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'll break it if I take it out in the water.
Yeah, especially against rocks and stuff.
Yeah, I was on the list for the Legend, then I took myself off. I was like the first on the list to get it when it came out. Because I was like, nah, I want the Deus too, because I played with the Deus in Texas. Now I'm like probably regretting that I took myself off the list for the Legend.
Yep.
Frederick Romano, make sure you hashtag DFDMM. You put it equal in there, which I know, I understand, but we just wanted to make sure.
Has joined us. Welcome, thanks.
Yes.
The thing about the legend is they keep updating it, and they keeps getting better and better all the time. The little features, like I had a hard time seeing the little icons on the bottom. So one of the updates, they made them flash whatever one you were on, so you could see it better. Stuff like that. I mean, they really listen to the users and fix some of their problems that people are having.
That's what makes Nokta stand out, is they do take feedback from the consumers, which is actually in today's market and competitive market that it is, that's actually really highly important.
Oh yeah, it is.
You know, like if you're taking the feedback from the people using your products and improving it based on the feedback from people. Like my issue with the Simplex was I didn't really like the buttons. They were hard for me to push. That's all, honestly. So I was like, I don't know if I want the Legend because I don't know if the buttons are going to be really hard for me to push again.
Well, they wear in really quick. The biggest thing I found with the Simplex was the length of the handle that you're hanging onto. I don't have small hands, but they're medium-sized hands. But there's about an inch gap. Yeah, and that's tiring to use on the arm and push the buttons and stuff if you're not right up near the top.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, as we had talked about a while ago, myself and I'm sure everyone in chat will be interested in wanting to know, and I'll start with DF Digger, which is what, Dover Foxcroft, is that right?
Yes.
Tell us about the Piscataquis River and some history about that, if you don't care, and take your time doing so.
Okay. Well, back when it was in the early 1790s when Massachusetts started having surveyors come up to this area, and they had to have so many residents in this area before they could consider it a town. They did so by right around 1820, and the town's 100 and a little over 200 years old right now. But there have been people up here about 220, 230 years. I found the oldest coin up here was a KG2, which predates this area being even surveyed by about 30 years. So, I mean, there were people up here traveling, a lot of beaver trapping. But in that 220 years, there were 4 major floods. And when people first moved up here, they built way too close to the river. And over the years, the floods took homes, businesses, farms. That's why there's just literally everything. I found kitchen sink in the river.
Wow.
But just about anything. And that's what I like about it. It's a variety. You never know what you're going to come across.
So tell us about some of your most amazing finds, your greatest finds out of that river.
Well, one of my favorite finds out of the river. Well, that's a harder one.
He's got a garage full of favorite finds.
Yeah.
Most of my best finds are all down at the museum. Right now.
Right.
I could say maybe the weirdest find that I had found up here was a World War II Nazi infantry assault badge. It was a zinc version, which was more for the foot soldiers. Officers would get a silver badge, and tankers would get or mechanized, they would get a bronze badge. But there is history of Nazis landing off the coast of Maine, disguised as fishermen back in World War II. And they did make it ashore. So, did they just, want to throw it out, not want to be recognized, or did somebody take it off a soldier in the war?
Right.
Those type of stories like you guys mentioned earlier, knowing the history and just coming up with the plots that could be.
Right.
Yeah.
How many bells have you found out of that river?
I knew he was going to ask that.
To date, 123.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not counting the bells me and Kelly and a few others who hunt with him have found also.
Yeah,
Right.
and And that's not including about the 30 or so that are found on land. But this area, back when we had wooden bridges in town, they weren't allowed to have livestock, like cattle and stuff going across them. There are low spots in the river, and that's, the plus about hunting this river. In the summertime, usually it's below your waist, and even shallower at times, down to your ankles in places. But those were the low areas where they would forage cattle and livestock across. Carriage, we found carriage parts in the river. But there's a big deep hole right in around where the Essex Street Dam is, and we're going to have some people, if weather is good, right around the time Rachel and Kay are going to be coming up. They're going to do some diving down in that deep hole, and that's about 35 feet deep. Every year, stuff gets pushed out of that hole. So I know there's stuff down there. It's just getting to it. And that's where the gold would be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Hey, Olin.
Hey, Olin.
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. Welcome.
Thank you for joining.
Tonight.
Those of you, again, just joining, hashtag DFDMM to get into tonight's giveaway,
Yep.
folks.
Absolutely.
I gotta say hi to Team Clambake and Metal Detective and Randy, too.
Yes, Randy,
yes,
hello, and Bean and Pick.
Yep, thanks for joining.
Thank you guys for joining us, as always.
Now, Ritchie, what would you rather do, hunting in the river or on land?
Well, in October and November, I'd rather hunt on land.
Right. September sometimes.
It depends on the season. We find different stuff on land. That's where you find your coppers and your other relics. And in the water, you find the pewter and more bells and different kind of stuff. So it doesn't really matter. It just depends on the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we only have about 3 months up here in the river. And then the water's too cold.
Right. It would be. Gosh,
Yeah,
what would the temperature be?
You got to think about that.
When the calendar hits September 1st, it's almost like the water temperature drops like 10 degrees on that day.
And we only got about another month, maybe a week or 2 after that, if we're lucky.
Got to take advantage of that time then, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, Ritchie, the Kennebec, correct? Kennebec River?
Yep, Kennebec.
I know you probably don't have a whole lot of history to talk about, but tell us a little bit about that river, some of your finds.
Okay, I really haven't started hunting it until last year. Went along the shorelines on each side in Skowhegan before what they call the Big Eddy. And I found Morgan Silver Dollar. Wow. It's the best find I've gotten out of that river. And this year there was an island just below the eddy. I said, if I could get over there with a kayak, I bet I could find stuff. And that's where I've been this year. On the north end of that island, I've been finding lots of pewter and bells and odds and ends of stuff, kind of stuff we find. Now, the history of the river in Madison in the 1730s, there was a French preacher, Father Rawl. He lived with the Native Americans, and supposedly they made a tax on some British colonists downriver. So the British come up one time to get him, but he knew they were coming, so he escaped. But they come up a second time, and he didn't know, and they ended up killing him and chasing the natives up into Canada. And then in 1775, Benedict Arnold had his march on Quebec. He went right up the Kennebec River, right past Madison, up a few more towns before he got out of Kennebec, went across land to head towards Quebec, where he got his butt whipped.
Both of you all have some very rich history and are so blessed and fortunate to be able to detect and hunt where you do. I mean, it is amazing. Those of you in chat that may not be familiar with DF Digger Madison Maine, you need to go check them out because their videos are amazing. And DF, I want to ask you a question while it's fresh on my mind. Occasionally, you will have music in there, and there's a particular singer, male singer, and I don't know his name, but I love his singing. Who is that, if you don't care to say?
I'm not sure. I'm
It's
not
Blue
monetized.
Saraceno.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For my startup song. Yeah. Blue Saraceno.
Reason I know that is because in the '80s, when I first started playing guitar, he was like the uh, the the kid who was up and coming. So
Okay.
I knew him from back then. He didn't play the same kind of music.
Yeah, I love that opening song. That's awesome.
Oh, I've looked at probably hundreds and hundreds of songs and listened to them about rivers. I like if I can, if I have a particular find in the video, like the casket plaques that I found, I kind of put more of a music fit into that. But a lot of the stuff, I try to, it's river hunting, but yeah, a lot of patriotic songs too. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it always amazes the finds he finds in that
Oh
river.
my gosh,
It's
the
like,
bells, the bells.
I don't show all the junk. I mean, if I was to show everybody the junk, you wouldn't want to watch videos and they'd be 2 hours long. Usually when I go out, 2-3 hours at most, and I'll have a handful of finds and a bag that weighs probably 5-10 pounds of just garbage. But at the end of the year, I usually turn in about 5 gallon jugs or buckets of just trash every year. And that's not to include the brass copper that I turn in. But yeah, it's basically just trying to clean that river up. But I'll never do it in my lifetime. Can't.
And when the water goes down below, between the dams, and you could see, I mean, there's nothing but trash and signals.
Oh yeah, you can't
I mean,
walk
it's incredible.
just feet. And that's where a lot of it is. They do plan on taking some of the dams out. The one up in Guilford where I've been hunting recently, that's where I found most of the casket plaques.
Yeah.
There is a massive cemetery upstream of that dam, and that's been flooded out many times. It took mausoleums, it took graves and stuff. I've returned those plaques back to the Guilford Historical Society, and when they open that dam up, I find bones throughout the river, but I haven't found no like human skulls.
Right.
But
that was going to be my next question. Have you ever found a human skull in there?
Well, with all the grave markers that we found, behind those dams, it gets built up with 10, 20 feet of sediment. And that's all soft stuff. So, I mean, I would think if something got into there, and once they release that all that sediment's all going to run down the stream. But that'll be a different story, different time, with probably, some authorities and things like that, because I would want to definitely make sure anything like that stayed with the town. That's what I try to do.
Right. Brockton Magnet Fisher has a question if both of you all are from Maine, because he said you talk just like him.
I'm from Dover, Foxcroft, Maine. I've lived in Maine most of my life.
I've been here since I was 5 years old, living right around Madison, north, the towns around it, North Anson, Norridgewock, Anson.
Now, how long have you two known each other?
2019, I think I invited you up because I had hunted 2018, and then I started watching videos of Ritchie and stuff. I started off with Bo from Aquachigger and Nugget Noggin. Had the river, it made sense. But then I started looking at metal detectorists in Maine, and there was a bunch that came and went, didn't put out any more videos. But I saw Ritchie, texted him one day, and I asked him, hey, you mind if I ask you some questions every once in a while? And he says, as long as you don't ask me where I'm hunting. So, but after that, yeah, we got together and did a few hunts, and his friend Kelly, our friend Kelly, he's been over quite a few times, but yeah, it's been since 2019, I think.
I can't put years on anything. I just remember you getting in touch with me and we meeting over at a library or something like that.
Yeah,
we went over and hunted the fairgrounds for a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
then once you got started in the river, then we were all in the river.
Yep. Well, no bugs, no ticks. I only hunt on the land in the spring and in the fall, because they'll, most people know they will eat you alive, and it's not fun for me anymore. I've been in it my whole life, so river's a blessing.
We've just done a little bit of creek hunting with our metal detectors. Nothing on the scale to that. I'd end up falling and breaking my daggone neck.
I'd have to tie a rope to him and then tie it to a tree. That way he doesn't fall in.
Well, when I get under in water and on rocks, I am not good on my feet.
He's not stable.
I'm just not.
His balance is off.
We've had people come hunt with us. They'll hunt one time and then you never hear from them again. They don't want to come back.
It's a flavor, you got to like it or not, but it is work. It's you're not just digging a hole on a lawn. You got to watch your balance. You got to make sure you're not dropping your stuff out of bags. I found my pinpoint is always tethered, and I find that dragging behind me in the river all the time because it floats out of the bag. But you got to pay attention to what you're doing. A friend of mine down in Dexter, Maine, he collects signs, and he was down on the Kennebec in Augusta today, and he was trying to pull a sign out of the mud. Some big boats went by. The waves knocked him over. He hit his head on the rock, and he blacked out.
Oh, my.
Wow.
His wife was right there. She said, his eyes looked okay, but he blacked out for a little bit. And that was just on the side of a river and the waves hitting you. So yeah, you got to be careful if you're in the water, unless it's, really a kind of like a sandy bottom, if it's rocks and stuff, you got to be really careful.
And a lot of times Dennis and I are by ourselves when we're on that river. There's nobody around.
Yeah. Keep a cell phone with you. Make sure that you can make contact, know where you're hunting. And I always let my wife know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah,
that's always a good thing.
That is a good rule of thumb to follow, definitely, because anything could happen.
I know when we go hunting, if she gets out of my eyesight, I'm looking for her. I mean, it just
Well, it gives the authorities a chance to look downstream from where you are, so gives them a starting point. But the fortunate part is, like you said, in the summertime though, it's shallow, so you're probably not going to drown, but you could definitely mess your body up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Where I'm hunting, I have to kayak to get there, and I have to go upstream. And if there's a little bit of wind, sometimes
Kennebec's twice the size of the Piscataqua still. That's a big river.
Now, does one flow into the other or have any connection at all? No. Okay.
But we found, Ritchie and I, we've hunted some creeks, some streams, in just the most random, like you guys said, just those little creeks. Ritchie found a beautiful shoe buckle just in a small little creek just in town, downstream. It was downstream from that bridge, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was one of those things, check that off the bucket list, but just digging in the mud, and I pulled that out. I was like, wow, I've been looking for this for years.
Yeah. Always look from populated areas where there's a bridge, and just sometimes you can go upstream and find some stuff, but most of the stuff's going to be downstream from that bridge.
Okay. Speaking of bucket listers, Ritchie, what is the most important item that you are wanting to find, if you haven't already found it?
Well, I found so many things that you could call bucket listers, and I don't really have any real important ones, but the one I want to find is a porcelain license plate. My buddy over here keeps finding them, and I haven't found one yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to interrupt that thought. You said porcelain. In your premiere today, DF, there was a 1914 plate. Was that porcelain?
Yeah, and the red one was 1910.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Man.
Wow.
The latest one.
It's stuff like that that just amazes me.
It is amazing. I mean, yes.
They were made between 1905 and 1915. The oldest one I found has been a 1907. So I still need a 5, 6, 8, 12, and 13.
I need all of them.
I know David Alphonse said, these guys inspired me and my wife to start walking the rivers. We have been finding very old bottles on the banks and
of the Androscoggin River.
Androscoggin River.
I probably butchered that.
Yeah.
No, you did all right. You did good.
Yeah. That's cool when you find out that you've inspired
someone like that. Out. Yes, absolutely.
And,
I've seen a lot of locals starting to get more into the water. I have another friend. He has a channel called Aaron, or Outdoors with Aaron, or Outdoor with Aaron. But he's been finding some killer signs in these little streams and creeks down through here. But yeah, he's been right stuck in the water right now. A lot of stuff, not a lot of people are willing to get into it. And, I understand in some areas, especially south where it's all muddy water, I wouldn't do that. I need clear water. I want to see what's around me, but there's so much treasure in there. You figure back then, where did you go to take a bath? Where did you go to cool down? There were people all through these waters everywhere. Things
There's
were lost.
also where they dumped everything.
Yeah. Up to the 1890s here in Maine, it was legal to dump. So, they had a good 100 years of dumping in the river, and I'm sure after that, too.
Yeah, the river would freeze. They'd take all that crap out there all winter.
Yep. There's been 2 U.S. Buckles found on this river. One was with a friend of ours a few years back. She'd only been hunting for 3 months, detecting for 3 months. She comes up here and finds a U.S. buckle right on the shoreline.
Hey, Iron Antler. Welcome. For everyone joining, we've got Dennis from DF Digger and Ritchie from Madison, Maine joining us tonight. And be sure to hashtag DFDMM and get in on tonight's giveaway.
Absolutely.
And thanks, Iron Antler for joining in Ohio River History, Shane.
Yes.
And if I missed anyone else, I didn't mean to.
We apologize. We did say hello to Deej because she is, I think, working outside and just listening. So, yeah.
Yep.
So, Ritchie, back to your bucket lister. You said you're wanting to find the porcelain plate. So, what else do you hope to find?
I really don't have, I don't know. I haven't found a gold coin, but that's probably never going to happen.
You have a chance for a pine tree shilling.
Yeah, pine tree shilling, but up this far north, you
never know.
Hard to find them.
Now, I'm not familiar with that.
Pine
tree shilling. I'm not familiar with the pine tree shilling. Explain to us what that is.
It's a silver coin, 1600s. It's a colonial.
Weren't it the first coin Massachusetts made? They're all marked, even though they were made in different years, they were all marked 1652.
Okay. Wow.
And if you get one in good condition, really good condition, you're looking at, $10,000, $14,000 for one. Even in bad condition ones are going for some really good money. But I wouldn't want to sell it, but that'd be a beautiful coin to find.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Sorry,
I let the bucket list. I let the bucket list come to me. I mean, I dig something that's amazing. Oh, yep, check that off the bucket list.
There you go.
Because that's how it is.
Just keep
I dig stuff I never thought I'd ever find.
I know I've seemed to find that me and Melissa can be talking about bucket listers, and it's amazing how like the next day we'll go detecting and find, might not be the exact what we want, but we'll find something on our bucket list. And that's just, so keep talking about that gold coin and stuff and you will find it.
You will find
it. Just got to walk over it.
I ranked that up there with that porcelain license plate, the gold coin, porcelain license plate.
I'll trade you. I'll tell you what, I'll give you all 4 of the plates I have right now for a gold coin if you find them.
Oh, wow.
I'll probably have more by then, but.
That give you something to ponder on, Ritchie.
He'll have his whole garage filled in with porcelain license plates before I find a gold coin.
Yeah. That's the thing in these rivers, and I'm sure on the Kennebec too, it took a lot of homes and stuff when they had their first floods. And if it took homes, I mean, we find a lot of silver, a tremendous amount of silver in the river. So there has to be a gold coin or gold something floating around in these rivers. You know, we'll come across them someday, maybe, hopefully.
Okay, just be cool. We understand. Absolutely. One of these days, he'll be maybe not in the river, maybe on land. He may come across that gold coin and he'll be like, are you entertained?
Oh,
I'll be entertained if I find it.
You would definitely be entertained, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do if I found a gold coin. I would be ecstatic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He would, I don't know what
I
he
know
would
how I
do.
get. If I just even, silver coin,
Yes.
I'm like, heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially when I found, well, that's coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a major bucket lister.
Speaking of tomorrow, we will be premiering
Yeah, we've got
some curb strip. Yeah.
Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. So yeah.
And Robert finds a major bucket lister.
Bucket lister on a curb
absolutely.
strip. Man, the curb strips we've been loving the curb strips here lately. Other than the Karens you run into, that like to think they own right out to the street.
Apparently, the river too. Was that you, Dennis?
Yeah.
That really wet?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, if it's maintained by the state, then it's public property. I'm very up on our laws here in the state. You know, and that's the best way to educate people. You know, try not to be. Even though the old lady, she was getting kind of rude, I was being polite. You know, but I just went to the town ordinances office and talked to him. He watches my videos. He sees how much garbage I pull out of the river and stuff, and he knows that we're pulling out post-European stuff. There are portions of the rivers that are Indian protected, so you're not supposed to pick up any rocks.
Pointy rock.
Right. But they really don't. I mean, I guess I haven't come across an arrowhead yet, and I look very closely for odd-shaped objects in the river. But the ordinance officer said they're not going to harass somebody if they picked up a rock. Now, if you're down there with a big screening box and, pulling out Indian artifacts and things like that, they're going to have an issue with it.
He has the other side of the boat. Welcome.
But there is plenty of glass, so you still could do the screening box and dig holes. I dig holes all the time and pull out different glass pieces all through them. As long as you're only taking the post-European stuff, you're probably good to go.
Yeah, we always make sure we know the rules and regulations.
You have to. You have to do your homework.
People can be so, you can't explain to them. They just keep wanting to get madder and madder when you try to explain something to them. So it's best just to say, sorry, don't mean to bother you, and walk off. But they still want to call the police on you. That's the
Yeah, and one gentleman, I walked across the curb strip, and when we left, he went out, and it had already been mown, but he was out there mowing it because I guess he could see the imprint where I walked.
Yeah.
It's
all good,
Yeah, it's all good. So now whenever you all go to the river, what are the main things, your supplies, your gear, what you wear, what's your necessities?
Ritchie, go ahead.
Well, you got to have a waterproof pinpointer. The waterproof machine is a plus. You got to have that pinpointer tethered to you, or it's going to go down the river. You can have waders, or I've been using hiking boots lately because my waders have been in not in too good a shape. So I still use them once in a while, but you got to have long-handled shovel. I use it for balance and to dig my holes.
Have you found any sandy spots over there where you could actually use a scoop?
No.
Yeah.
No. There may be areas, but I haven't been hunting. I've been hunting mostly the north side of the island where the stuff's been coming. So.
Yeah. Yeah, a scoop will do you okay, but in the river, in the lakes, when you're using the scoop and stuff, unless it's a real big lake and there's waves crashing in, those holes are getting filled as soon as you're putting the scoop in. As soon as you take that out, they're getting filled back in. And I've chased myself. I have a 5-minute policy. If I dig for it for 5 minutes and haven't found it, I'm on to the next signal. I don't care how good it sounds. Because you have those troubles where that sand's just moving in as fast as you're digging. A shovel can get down real deep.
You can get
and
under.
then you can hoist stuff up. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that if we're digging in parks or something. I start digging and it starts getting too deep, I will not dig. I'm not digging any deeper. I'll just quit. And
those porcelain license plates, though, I find those down at a foot or more. So
I was just gonna say I violate that 5-minute rule all the time, thinking that porcelain license plate's what's down there.
and they ring up beautiful. Any type of really even chewed up porcelain, it has a really good high tone to it. Something like that, yeah, I might take a break, have a cigarette, and then work at it a few minutes more if it was something really good. But
my first license plate was like 18 inches deep.
Thanks, Carolina.
Yep. Oh yeah, they've been sitting there for 100 years. Mother Nature will take back everything, whether or not it's in the river or on land. In the river, though, there's a lot of spot up in this river, maybe down in Ritchie's, where there's just ledge. It ain't going any lower than that, which is nice in some spots. But if you got to dig a foot down under boulders and rocks to get to it, you're working.
The only thing I found porcelain was when we was up there in that creek behind that old hotel, and I think it's the front to a old gas pump, because it has slots here and then different ones here, and that's the only thing I could figure out that it's went to. So, I mean, it was a good find, and it was just laying. I seen it laying didn't even have to dig it. It was just laying there.
Cool.
Now there's a big piece laying face down on the side of the island. I think it's a big porcelain sign of some sort, but it won't stick to a magnet.
Yeah, the porcelain, if it's really thick, it may not. There's only really a thin piece of metal that's on the inside of those. I'll stick a magnet to one of my signs there and see if it does tomorrow.
Because I can't figure out how to get to it and get it. All I got to do is get it moving downstream where it's shallow, and then I can see what it is, if it's something good or.
How deep is it?
Oh, it's over your head.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but it could be $1,000 sign. The signs
big.
Right now are going expensive.
It's pretty good size. It may not even be what I think it is, but it looks like a porcelain sign turned upside down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely be worth investigating.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know if I could get a grappling hook on it and drag it, or
maybe.
I don't know.
But if you're in a kayak, you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Especially against the current.
I can put my paddle underneath it, but when you try to put any pressure on it, it just pushes you back.
Well, if I was 20 years younger, bud, I'd come up and dig it out with you.
I'm hoping one of these storms it washes it further downstream.
It does. I mean, the rivers, when they get going, I use a USGS site for our measurements because I don't ever want to see anybody up here get hurt. And about 2.5 feet, you can start to get in on the edges of the river. Anything below 2 feet is even better and better. But once it gets above that, you're starting to talk, thousands of cubic feet per second coming down. Right now, it's going at about 75 cubic feet per second. Last week, when we had the big storm, that pushed it up over to 5 feet, and that was running at over 2,000 cubic feet per second. That will take you down the river. But yeah, you get those forces though, and then we've had storms up to 12 feet, 87. That got up to over roads and stuff, and that will start to move boulders, houses, everything else.
Yeah, I know. I've seen some of the videos you filmed when that river's overflowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what you need. That's what you need, though. You need to get that water moving, and it will bring new stuff up.
Oh yeah.
Those of you just joining us, hashtag DFDMM to get in on the giveaway, which will be here
whenever. Yeah.
Yep.
When we
shortly.
We decide to get out of here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to hang over a little while since we've got two wonderful guests, and we just love to hear you all tell about your treasures and the history and what you guys do. It's awesome.
Yeah.
On that giveaway, I'll throw in a bell from the Piscataquis.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! You better enter in Clark's Cove on that giveaway.
Go right ahead. I've given bells out to Adventures in Dirt there, Ken, for one of his hunts. A few other people. I've got bells from this river scattered throughout the United States, which is nice.
Need one in New Jersey.
Yes,
what's awesome. That?
I said need one in New Jersey.
I've got quite a few left. I've been doing little crafts and arts with them.
Cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Dennis, thank you so much. And I'm sure the chat, whoever wins, will be absolutely.
Hey, Amethyst, thanks for joining. Yeah,
we'll be thrilled. Yes.
I'll throw in $50. I believe it's a proof. 1776 to 1976.
Good deal. Thank you, Ritchie.
I know it come from Molly Man Mike. He always sends me stuff. So.
Okay, thank you, Ritchie.
Thank you, Ritchie.
I had stickers.
Say they dug another bell today. Cool.
What kind of bell did you dig, Maine Dirt Sweepers?
Only ones I've ever done, just a cheap little cheapie.
Like you find at Christmas time from just some little cheap something. Yeah, that's the only bell I've dug.
I've done lots of telephone bells.
Yes, yeah.
I got one today too.
I was going to say, do you guys have any of your finds there? I don't want you to get up and go get anything, but do you have anything there you'd want to?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a Stein bottom I found. It was just barely bent in, but it was in the sandy portion of the river. And it's got a beautiful mural around it. My son made me a sticker and found a glass mug for it. That's one of my nice personal ones. I like that.
Yes, that is nice.
Cool.
Park Rat Pat is hold on. There we go.
Oh wow.
That is a 20mm dummy round.
Wow.
Found in the Piscataquis River.
Oh my gosh.
How it got there? I got no idea.
Now when you say dummy round, I'm a dummy. I don't understand. Explain what
it was used. It's not a live round. It was used to calibrate machine guns on the Navy ships. Okay. You know, you'd have the two machine guns that would fire. They'd be in sync.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You've seen the old World War II video. You know, you get the gun that goes boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Okay.
They'd have to sequence them, and they'd use these to fix the timing.
That is neat. Dennis, Park Rat Metal Detecting wants to know if you've ever hunted around Foxcroft Academy. That place has been there a spell.
I contacted the superintendent last year, and he gave me permission to hunt across the road, which is borders the river. There was a lot of fill brought in there, so coin, just modern clad and stuff, a lot of garbage. But I plan on getting back hold of him to see if he would let me do some sort of a dig on the property, and everything I find, right down to the penny, I'd give back to the school. Foxcroft Academy's been around since the early 1800s, and I doubt it's ever been metal detected. But they keep their lawns very nice, and I don't know. It might be a big ask. Maybe time.
Never hurts to try.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the superintendent saw how I took care of the lawn across the street. with the holes, and never had any complaints. So it may be in the cards at some point.
We'll keep our fingers crossed for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rachel, you have anything you want to ask DF
No,
and Ritchie?
You asked my question.
The gear and the river gear.
Well, something I'd like to mention about Rachel. Rachel and Kay are going to come up in August, hunt with Ritchie and I in the rivers, which I think is going to be pretty cool. Maybe in that time of year too, the river especially, I'd really love to take you ladies in between the dams, because that's where a lot of the stuff has been caught. And if it's
and you
like
don't
some
need
of
to
the pastures,
you don't need to get out in the water much if you go there.
I'm brave in the water for you guys. Yeah.
It's not bad, really.
My ankle.
Well, our friend Kay there that found the U.S. belt buckle there, she hunted in the water the first. Yeah, Karen. She hunted in the water the first year. She didn't like it, so she hunted just on the shores. And that's where she found that U.S. buckle. And I had been over that same spot, who knows how many times. But yeah, it's a big river. You can be off a foot, and you're going to be off from something good.
Now, is there a lot of people in your area, Dennis, that's hunting that river besides you?
There's an older gentleman in town. His name's Francis. He's been hunting this river for the last 20 years or so. But he only hunts on the edges of the river, and he's found silver rings. He found a U.S. belt buckle down the river where they used to have reenactments in the bottle dump that was right on the side of the river. So there is stuff in here. And there was a story of a lady got hold of me, told me their great-great-grandmother used to own a house and a lot of these houses sitting right now are right on the bank of the river. So you would open up your big barn door and they'd just throw trash right into the river. Well, supposedly she threw her great-great-grandfather's Civil War chest into the river. So for whatever reason, who knows? But, there could be a sword pommel in there. I found militia buttons in the river. So was it part of it? Who knows? But, yeah, it's going to take time to get used to it. In 2024 to 2025, they're going to be doing bridge repair on the Essex Street Bridge. They're putting in a whole new bridge, all new footings. So they're going to have to dry that whole section up in between there. And when that happens, I'm going to try to get as many folks up here that can. And we're just going to hit the crap out of it. Because most of the time there's deep pockets out there we'll just never get into. But
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
See, I'd go all the way to the middle of the river then.
Well, there's been years where you could walk across this river and never get your foot wet. We had a drought, a 117-year drought there 2 years ago, and there was places that you could get to all over this river. So Mother Nature, it's all up to her.
Yeah, we've got that right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she hasn't been playing well this year, so
it's doing all right now. I was out today, and the water's a lot lower than what it was yesterday.
It is down. We keep dodging these storms, and it'll be good.
Because I know, there's people out there that they watch videos like yours and think, well, I'm going to travel up there and I'm just going to start hunting that river, whether anyone likes it or not,
I promote this river, and I even got threatened for promoting this river. The guy told me to watch my back because I was being a tattletale, and he's older than I am. But I still hunt the river. I'm not scared of anybody, and nobody's going to stop me from doing it. But I promote this. People know when you come up here, like Ritchie said, some people never come back. And it's not because there's nothing to find. It's just that it's a different type of detecting.
Yeah. That's why I said I'd end up falling, tear my detector up, tear me up.
Yeah.
You're walking in the river. I mean, we're walking with the current or against it. I mean, you're still walking with the current. I mean, you're still fighting it. You get these big boulders that you're prying prying up with a shovel, then you're digging in the sand and the gravel with your fingers. I mean, not everybody likes hunting like that.
Yeah.
No, but we, not bragging, but between Ritchie and I, we've pulled some beautiful stuff out of the waters here in Maine. And yeah, that's why we push it so much, because it's really not done much. It's getting there though. I've had a lot of people get hold of me personally, show me a large scent that they found on the edge of the river or on the stream or something. Yeah.
We've had quite a few people come over and hunt the Piscataquis.
Yeah, I think we had 16 last year, and then a few less the years before, but it's a long ways to go for people. It's a long drive. We're up in the Dover-Foxcroft sets right about in the middle of the state of Maine.
Okay.
And they call it the Central Highlands. We're right at the foot of the Appalachians. And it's a drive to get up here. So that's why we realize nobody's just going to drive hours away just to come up here to try to scalp every find out of this river in an hour or two. It ain't going to happen.
And around our area, we have like the worst roads you've ever seen in your life.
I don't know. I live in Jersey.
Well, I have to say, if we was ever in that area, we would definitely look you guys up, because
Yes,
I give it
we
a
would.
try. I mean, I get out there and try. Don't get me
Well,
wrong.
I know of spots, especially where I've been finding those signs lately. There are spots that it's a sandy kind of bottom. I've hunted over 6 miles of this river, and I know it like the back of my hand. So days that I don't feel too well and I don't want to walk on rocks, I pick different spots. But you guys come up, I pick the best spots we can, but it's like a bust in my video tonight. One day I went up there, found a bunch of cool stuff. Next day I find two fuses, but then I hit it 2 more times and found some more beautiful stuff. So, it's a big river, and you can be off just a foot. That little large scent that I found, to find that in the whole stretch of that river, that it's about 150 feet wide, or, better in places. It's all luck. Are you going to walk over it or not? But you have that chance.
I mean, we've gone through places, we've walked through the same parts of the river and still find stuff. I do that now at the island.
Yep.
I mean, I get out of the kayak and I start hunting. I said, well, yeah, I'll get over to where I haven't hunted yet. Now, boy, there's a high tone right there I didn't get before.
Yeah. And a lot of times, if you go in the same spot, like I could go up into Guilford right now and I can see all the dig holes for the last, 2-3 times that I've been up there. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll interweave myself in between those. And you'd be surprised at how much you've missed, because, you just kind of missed it with your detector, or you hit it on a different angle or something. But
I mean,
Now, I know you might not really look for it, but have you ever found any petrified wood in that river?
no, but Ritchie found a beautiful rock that we were debating on, that it looked like a wood grain.
I almost think it was man-made, though, because I've gone on the rock and mineral pages on Facebook. Petrified wood, real petrified wood, looks more like a rock than it does that.
But it's a cool piece. I hope you make something out of it.
I know we have found here in our creeks right here at the house. I'm always looking for pieces of petrified wood, and I have one chunk out there on the driveway, or out there on the porch, that I found back that was last year, wasn't it?
I think so.
And it was all I could do to get it out and up on the bank. That thing probably weighs 80 pounds or better. And I mean, it is a huge chunk of log.
We have a video,
There, I do.
and
have
it's
a
called
video.
what?
My oldest find
My
ever.
oldest
something
find
like that.
ever.
And that thing is an awesome specimen of petrified wood.
Yeah.
But I have a whole trunk. Well, it's a tote full that we have found. Anyway, anytime we're out in a creek, I'm constantly looking for petrified wood.
Yeah.
I tend to have a good eye for finding it. A lot of people is like, well, I wouldn't know what it looked like if I seen it. Well, it looks like wood.
It's just petrified.
It's just solid. Pick it up. If you question it, pick it up and see. If it's hard, then it's wood.
Which some of the smaller pieces, you'll see in the creek, and you'll look at them, and sometimes it's a fossil, where a piece of wood has lain on a rock, you know, and over time it's,
Yeah, I found fossils right up on my rock wall out behind my house. I'm about a quarter of a mile to the river that way. But, you know, this all used to be river valley at one point. And there's still glacial boulders down in this river and stuff, some massive boulders. I've never gold it or panned it. I've been watching you guys do yours. I'd like to get a pan sometime. Try down there. There's got to be some. I know every person that panned it back in the day probably didn't get it all.
Oh yeah,
No, they didn't get it all.
Now Dennis has found some watermelon tourmaline.
You did too, didn't you? You found a piece.
I might have it.
You did. I thought you.
I think I put it in with the glass. I thought it was some type of broken glass or something.
Yep. And then we found obsidian, which is volcanic glass, and I think it's been over 10,000 years since there's been a volcanic eruption that would have put stuff down in this area.
wow.
My oldest find I gave to KG.
What was that?
It was a trilobite.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was up when it was Pound the Ground back in 2019. And I'm walking through the cornfield and I'm looking down at this rock and I'm like, why did somebody draw the android on this rock? Because that's what it looked like, the android symbol. And I picked it up. It was a trilobite. And then I saw KG and Ringy later, and I told KG, "Oh, you want it?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Cool.
Why did I do that?
Now, Rachel, I don't know what that is.
yeah.
It literally does kind of look like the android symbol. It was a crustacean, a very small crustacean, probably a half an inch big.
Dinosaur age.
Yeah, a couple million years old or something.
Okay.
Wow.
And I guess the plow had smacked the rock open at some point over the years. Wasn't real big, like, you know, maybe about baseball sized rock at one time. And so I saw the half of it with the trilobite facing me on the ground, and it literally does kind of look like the android symbol. So when I first saw it, I'm like, why would somebody carve the android into a rock? You know, and then when I picked it up, I realized, because you can see all the little details, you know, and it's a little crustacean.
Okay. We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way. I don't know how they date petrified wood. I'd love to know how old some of these pieces that I have are.
You got to get them carbon dated.
Yeah.
Go to a college or something. I don't know if they do it. You know, with the whole COVID thing, I wanted to take a piece in to have it, the college look at it, but with COVID, they weren't doing nothing.
Well, yeah,
we'll keep that in mind.
Because we have, you know, Marshall University is right there in Huntington.
Yeah.
They probably have a department in there where they could do that. We might have to
Get a hold of someone.
See about that. Anyone that's just joining the chat right now, we'll throw this back up on the screen. Well, there we go. Hashtag DFDMM, just like you see it there on the screen, and get in on tonight's giveaway we'll be doing here in I don't know, here soon.
Here real shortly, yes, we will do this giveaway. We have our usual pins and
giving away
IHP and some stickers.
Sticker pack, and Dennis has thrown in a bell.
Yep.
And Ritchie has thrown in a $50.
Yep.
So yes.
And DF Digger, I love saying the name of that river. That bell comes from the Piscataquis.
Very well.
I love
I don't even try to say it.
Well, like the only way that I knew, because I remember when I used to take stabs at it, and I heard Liz with Digging Canuck enunciate, and I just repeated it, and it just sticks.
There's words up here in towns that I can't even pronounce, so don't worry about it.
Lake Maconic.
Oh, there's so many.
They're all Native American names up here. All the rivers and lakes and stuff.
That's
right.
Cool.
Yeah, Dover and Foxcroft used to be two towns. They both started around 1820, and then in 1920 they merged together. but they were always kind of in competition with each other.
Hey, Fun with Dirt. Thanks for joining.
Yes, thanks for joining.
Good seeing you this evening.
We want to thank each and every one of you all for joining us this evening. Is there anyone in chat that has questions for
please,
DF or Ritchie?
Go ahead and post them, and we'll throw them up there and ask away.
Well, you kind of didn't ask the question like all the way I do. Like, what essentials do you bring with you when you go out for the day?
I usually carry my backpack, so I'll have my cell phone in there.
Water,
small, little medical bandages and stuff like that. Even with, gloves on, you can still slice a finger or have something happen. I usually bring my little radio with me. Play that in the background. Up here, I usually don't use headphones. If I'm in, there's areas of this river where there's nothing. There's no houses. You could yell and nobody's going to hear you. And we have wildlife up here. So playing the radio, it kind of might let the animals know something's around and they don't want nothing to do with you.
Thank you.
He's probably the only one that I know of who listens to music while he metal detects. You'd be out there with him, the next thing you know, he's got the radio cranked.
There's ears for the tones.
There's something I'm going to ask. Have you ever run into any water snakes or anything while had any close calls?
We got eels up here, or lamprey eels. They come up for a couple of weeks out of the year and die off. The biggest thing that you really have to watch out for is probably snapping turtles. We had a friend, I don't know if it was Mike. Was it Mike? But one of them put his hand down.
I think it was Mike.
He
saw something in the water, went to reach for it.
Yeah, and then he looked 3 feet in front of him, and there was a massive snapping turtle. The water is clear enough, and I'm programmed, and Ritchie's getting that way as well. But when you're looking at the river, it's different than looking at a lawn. You're looking for anything that doesn't belong. And yeah, you put your finger down next to one of them. It might be the last time.
I come close to that last year, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was one tucked in behind a big rock, and I saw something in the water. I reached down there, pulled it out, and I looked, and I saw that sitting there like, wow.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
Joel Drummond Detect, he wanted to know the name of that river again. I'm not sure the spelling of it, Joel, but it's Piscataquis.
Yep. Piscataquis. Piscataquis. And not to be mixed up with the Piscataqua in Dover, New Hampshire. 2 different rivers and 3 hours apart.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't drive a couple hours into Maine before you come to it, you're not at the right river.
Yeah, you're going to be disappointed. Yeah, the Piscataqua River is a massive river, and it dumps directly into the ocean. The Piscataquis dumps into the Penobscot first and then goes into the ocean. So there's no tidal water up here. Once we get no more rain and what drains out of the bog dries up, that's what we have for rain or water levels.
And it kind of backed up, merges with the Androscoggin River and dumps into Merrimeeton Bay right into the ocean.
Yeah. Now, you're not tidal over there, are you? That doesn't go that far up.
It goes as far as, I know it goes up to Waterville.
Yeah.
I think it goes up to that first dam, which is between Waterville and Hinckley.
Yeah, I'd do 6 minutes for a gold coin too, Mike. But it better be a gold coin when I get there.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, because like a gold coins, pull tabs sound like gold coins.
Exactly.
I'll be going 6 minutes in on a pull tab signal.
Yeah.
I was digging in an old farm my neighbor has over here, and I found a lot of beautiful stuff out there. But I dug down about 6 inches, and I thought I hit gold. Ended up being one of those gold foil chocolate wrappers. It's 6 inches down on a farm. I mean, nobody's plowed this field in probably 50 years. Mother Nature or the earth will take it all back.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was digging at an old cellar hole, and my friend Kelly was digging out the privy and digging around there because he was sniffing for marbles more than anything. one day we got digging in there. He got like 3.5, 4 feet down into the ground, and up comes like a oil lantern top. Stuff that we dig, within the top 1 foot, we would 4 and 5 feet down.
Wow.
So that stuff just keeps going.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it will.
Stuff in the ground that you'll never reach.
Yeah. See, and
Yeah.
that's a nice part about the river. Up here, there's, like I said, a lot of it. Even the sand deposits, they might go down deepest, 2, 3, maybe 4 feet, but then you're going to hit ledge at some point. And it's not going to go any further than that. But a good portion of the river up here, the whole right side of it is mostly ledge. The left-hand side of it going downstream is mostly sand deposit. And that's where you find a lot of your stuff is on that inner side of the rivers.
Now, talking about equipment to bring, if you're going to hunt the ledges, especially with Dennis, you're going to want something like a screwdriver or something to pull them coins out of the cracks of the ledges.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the crevice tool I want off of Flash until I go up to his Gold Rush days out in Ohio, Labor Day weekend.
A flathead screwdriver, it does just as well. Yeah, you don't have to. I've learned a long time ago, you don't have to go expensive into the hobby. Whatever works, gets the stuff out. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my dad, that's all he ever used was a screwdriver when he metal detected. I never seen him use any kind of handheld digger or anything. He was good at it. I'd sit and watch him. He'd hit it and pop it right up out of there. I don't know whatever happened to that screwdriver, but the last time I remember seeing it, I mean, he had it. It was a flathead, but it was pointed, completely smooth down into a point where he had used it so much.
That's how they used to metal detect in the old days.
Yeah.
People metal detectors didn't go as deep as they do now. So they didn't really need to dig a big hole. They could just pop whatever they come across right up out of the ground.
I know I still have some of his the coins he found, and I'll look through them and I'll still see those marks on them where he hit it with that screwdriver. I mean, that stuff's cool. I like it's
personality.
He put his mint mark on it.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, he was one of those. He like today's detectorist. Don't rub that silver coin. But shoot, Dad never worried about that stuff. He found it. He's rubbing it. He whatever to see what it was. He just loved to find that stuff. He wasn't worrying about whether it was in mint condition or.
I rub it all on my pants. Coins, whatever. It gets rubbed off.
I see Mona has a question. When did they come out with pinpointers? And I'm not sure the answer to that.
Not sure neither.
I think it was somewhere around 2000. I mean, I started in 2012, and there was quite a few to choose from then, but I don't think they had been out very long.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure myself. We haven't been in the hobby just since 2019. Yeah. So, all them years between when my dad quit hunting, metal detecting, and I didn't even think about metal detecting. I mean, it never even crossed my mind any until we come across it on YouTube one day, and I was like, my dad used to do that, Melissa. I said, we ought to give it a try sometime. And I'm glad we did. I just wished we'd have been doing it 20 years ago.
With the equipment today.
But
20 years ago, with the equipment they have today, would have been awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Bill, welcome. But
I used to watch my friend Kelly. He never had a pinpointer. He'd be over there trying to wave dirt over his coil there. He'd be fighting with stuff for a long time. And then finally he got a pinpointer. It was like, wow. How did I ever get by without it?
That was us when we
first started. We didn't have one.
And I was like, Melissa, this ain't working. We have got to get a pinpointer. So then we started watching and see what you know, what people were using.
This was
And
before
paying
we started doing
attention.
videos
Yeah.
and had a channel, of
And
course.
so we just
yeah.
kept watching, and I said, well, it seems like the orange Garrett is the go-to pinpointer that everyone uses. So that's what did we order our first one, or we drove up to the hobby shop up there at what is that?
Winfield.
Winfield and St. Albans. Their truck, whatever that plaza is.
Hey Ed, thanks for joining us.
And bought our first pinpointer, and the first time I submerged that pinpointer in the water, it shorted it out.
Bubbled. Yeah.
Yeah. But Garrett had me one in 3 days back.
Yeah.
So
Garrett's been good.
So since then, I do not submerge nothing. No.
Is it the orange one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Ours live underwater.
Exactly.
That's just how it goes with me, though. I mean,
if it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
They can say it's waterproof, but give it to me and let me submerge it. Yeah.
I mean, mine hangs and bounces off rocks and off my shovel and everything else while I'm trying to get the find out of the hole there, and it just keeps
know when
working.
I was watching your all's premiere, I seen the lanyard attached to the pinpointer, and it just being there in the water, and I thought, oh my gosh, if that was Robert, it would go.
Well, yeah. If as soon as I put that Garrett AT Pro under the water, it'd be shorted out. I guarantee.
I've had my AT Pro under the water for 10 years now, and never had an issue.
Yeah.
That's
good. we have Ritchie and I both have a friend there. He's lost 2 or 3 pinpointers so far. Yeah.
Wow.
Even and that's on dry land.
Oh.
Put a tether on.
Clam?
Yeah. put a tether on it. It's gonna save you some heartache and disappointment. Trust me.
You lost the metal detector too.
I've never left my pin. I've left my digger, but I've never left my pinpointer anywhere. But I have left my digger before, but it was easy found. It was right where I was last at.
It was a couple times where I had to go back and find my pinpointer. One time was in a carrot field.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All carrots. Lost my carrot in the carrot field.
Too many of us can say that.
Yeah.
And you want to use contrast. I mean, in the rivers though, that bright orange, beautiful. Ritchie lost his pink or red toothbrush there one year, and we were able to look around and just eyeball it, and that's the thing. 50
we were standing on the side talking. I said, is it, I can't remember what color it was.
Yeah, pink or red.
Is it that color? I said, yeah. And then we saw it floating down the.
That's a nice thing about the river. It is clear for the most part, and 50% of my finds are eyeball finds. It's just keeping, looking for those things that just don't belong.
Right.
Now, some people might not. What camera do you use, Dennis, for your underwater?
I did have the GoPro Hero 4, and I upgraded to the GoPro 8. That's what I'm using now.
Okay.
What do you use, Ritchie?
I use the $45 Amazon special, but it
works.
If it works.
My photos are nowhere near as clear as Dennis's, but I use that just for underwater shots. I don't use it for anything else because the audio is awful.
Yeah.
Right.
So I use my cell phone. I get that out. I do my footage with that, and whatever talking I got to do. And when I go underwater, I just use that ASICs.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of times we can't do live digs in the river because, like I said, sometimes you can be there for 4 or 5 minutes moving rocks and stuff. End up doing a lot of editing and stuff. But yeah, we do. If we come across something good and the water isn't muddy, like where Ritchie found that sugar bowl, you're not gonna put a camera under there. You would see nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're out where there's a little bit of current and it's all clear.
Yeah.
And our videos might be a little misleading in that when we put our camera underwater and we go and get it, it's right near the top. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
it's not
already,
always.
for the most part. I mean, and people have told us they thought everything was on the top, and they don't realize that sometimes we dig down quite a ways, pull it up, see what it is, and then we
Okay.
put the camera underwater and do the video from there.
Right.
Yeah. If I can get it out of the sand or dirt and I can start to lift it out of there and I can see through the water that it's kind of, and I've even felt things that felt fancy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll kind of just leave it the best I can right where it was. And then I'll go under with my camera, wave off the sand and do all that good stuff. But, but a lot of stuff, we just find right on top of just laying there.
That's cool. Yeah, I know. Every time I go to do a live dig and film it, it's always garbage. So that's why I usually don't do a lot of live digging. I always wait till I get it. If I flop it out and I see that it's something good, then I'll get my camera. Or if I don't know what it is, I'll go ahead and clean it up a little bit, just enough to see what it might be, and it is, and then start filming. But every time I live dig film, it ends up.
Yeah. I usually try to throw at least one live dig in just to kind of break up the video.
Yeah.
Even though most of the time it's junk that you find, every now and then you'll come across treasure, but just have something a little different in your video.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I will. It'll be a great signal. I mean, it's in the Garretts, their quarters and stuff are usually high numbers, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be a quarter. I'm going to live dig it, get the camera out, dig it, and then it's garbage. And so, delete that.
I don't even, that's the thing. If I don't do a lot of editing, I dig something, I find it, I make a clip of it, whether I misspeak in the video or, something's not right. I try to add in.
You like me, and half of it's out of frame.
That's as real as we can get with, when you're in the river like that, because, I mean, just sometimes putting something, if you take something out of the water, depending on the current, and you go to put it back down, it could be 10 feet behind you in a few minutes. So, I mean, we try the best we can, but, a lot of times in the video, I try to say, this is exactly how it was laying when I found it. Like that watch bezel tonight. It is what it is. And, if people don't really think that we're finding it, then you'd have to come up here and hunt the river and you let me know.
It's not like you can turn over a plug and you could see it sticking out the side or something like that.
Exactly. And you have time to set up your camera on the tripod and get a good angle. And it's not that.
Well, I don't hardly ever have any good angles. I tend to have the sun behind me so you can't see me,
Melissa, she's one of these. Well, let's see. Let's look at this, and it's like, okay.
I never think of the lighting. I need to.
I have to make sure I can read the date or whatever. My eyes, and I never take glasses with me, and I'm going to have to. But it's just something else to keep up with.
Those need to.
But
that's like my recent video. Like I thought I had plenty of light for the camera to, so you guys could see in the video when I was panning. And I'm like, oh, there's more light because I open up a window. Now it's bright as anything for me, but on my camera, it's like, what is in that pan? I can't see. I thought it was like great lighting. Yeah, I'm terrible at lighting.
I seen that little piece of shiny as soon as it was exposed. I said, Robert,
I had like 2 hours of footage, 2 hours because I did. Yeah. The whole bag. I had a huge bag from Ohio that I had dredged and used a sluice and a high banker, and Flash had classified it down so I could take it home. And then I had a little bag I have 2 bags of pay dirt, and I just did one. And I was like, well, this is gonna be like a 2-hour video. So I kind of like did the first part of the, where I was given a little bit of what I learned from Flash to help other people. And I know there's still some things I had forgotten. And then so the end, actually, the little nugget was out of that pay dirt. I actually ended up with 2 little nuggets, and I think 4 or 5 flakes out of my the Ohio dirt. So 2 nuggets out of the pay dirt and some flakes out of the Ohio.
Have you guys bought any of those $1,000 bags of pay dirt?
No. Well, these were gifted like 4 years ago from
I'd buy a
GTA.
gold coin first.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good way to turn. It's a good way to turn cash into gold. You're going to take a little bit of a loss, but I've watched a bunch of them, and a lot of people come up under what they spend for the bag. But you figure a few dollars off, and now you got gold, and government shouldn't touch it. But
I mean, we don't exactly make a whole bunch of money metal detecting. I mean, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
But relics, I'll tell you though, relics they do have value to them. Yeah, I found a solid brass partridge door knocker in the river.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I sold it to a guy that's locally. I wanted to keep it in town. He has an 1800s farm, and as soon as he gets that fixed up, he's going to have that on his front door for his knocker. But I mean, that was a couple $100, and I don't sell a lot of my stuff. I've sold some signs. I'm not really a big auto parts guy, so auto stuff I don't mind getting rid of. But there is value in relics.
Yeah, I was going to ask have you sold a lot of your finds or
some stuff. I mean, you got to put food on your table every once in a while, or you might want to go do something or buy something else. But yeah, the majority of my stuff in my garage is getting smaller and smaller every time. So
yeah,
my friend Kelly just bought all my junk silver off me. He's been buying silver up left and right. I said, if you want some silver, I'll sell you some. So I sold him almost all the silver that I found. I didn't give him like half reals or silver dollars or half dollars or whatever. It was just regular silver. And then about 9 years ago, I sold some of my junk jewelry off that I found when I was hunting schoolyards and finding jewelry and stuff. Broken necklaces and this and that. But other than that, I don't sell anything.
We sold the first ring that Robert ever found. And of course, that was before we were videoing or anything, even before we even had a channel.
I mean, it paid for the detector.
It paid for a detector.
Gear and stuff.
Exactly.
So.
It was an engagement ring, and it was a Disney Cinderella. It was a stagecoach, and the stagecoach was all diamonds.
Oh,
and it was valued
at
$1,000.
Excellent.
And we sold it to our pastor's wife.
We didn't sell it for that much, of course, but
it paid for our machine and our equipment and stuff. So
thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
This is the only hobby, and I've had a lot of hobbies over my time. This is the only one that's paid me back as far as monetary. The other ones, yes, enjoyment, pleasure, things like that. But I've already paid all the metal detectors I've ever bought, the pinpointer, I've paid all that off by now. But it's nice to know that you have value in what you're doing, even if pleasure and monetary. And it's your stuff. You found it. You do what you want with it.
Hey, Uncle Pete.
That's how I look at it.
Now, I found a designer pair of sunglasses down at the beach, women's sunglasses. And I got home, I looked them up. They were like $300 is what they paid for them.
Wow.
So I put an ad on Craigslist saying, did anybody lose their designer sunglasses down to the beach? Contact me. Waited about a week, nobody contacted me. So I put them on eBay. They were there about 5 minutes, sold for $90.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. I found a pair of gold Ray-Ban frames. The lens were gone. So I still have them.
Have you found any trapper's tags over there in Kennebec yet?
No, I haven't.
Bail seals?
Nope, no bail seals.
Yeah.
I haven't found any coins yet either. Zero coins.
Yeah, you did. You found that
but
big piece of silver there, buddy.
That was on the other side of the eddy.
Oh.
I'm talking on that island. I haven't found a single coin yet. I have found 4 great seal buttons though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lifetime of hunting right there, buddy. Yeah, I just recently got hold of the next town over, Sangerville's Historical Society. I talked to them the other day and told them I found some an old print plate and iron horse that Ritchie had done some electrolysis. It sets right on a stream right next to the museum. I actually walk in their driveway to get down to it, but they were very receptive, and I'm going to donate those pieces to them.
I think that's so cool that you have donated so many of your finds to the local, is it historical society or museum or combo of both?
I've got a display set up at the Dover Foxcroft one. I've given stuff to the casket plaques up to Guilford, because those I think should stay in whatever town they're found in.
Right.
And now Sangerville, and those it pretty much goes Dover, Sangerville, Guilford. So it's that whole stretch of the river.
Yeah. Okay, I see. We have
love chat.
Yeah.
Right in here.
Yeah.
Trying to catch them, and the chat's going like 90 miles an hour.
Just sharing the love. With
They
the
love
chat.
They love river
Yeah.
fishing.
Get on that. Share the love. Yeah.
Those of you just joining us, hashtag DF
Here, let me add it to the
DMM, and we're going to get ready to do that giveaway. It is 9:30, and so we're going to get ready and do that giveaway.
Yeah, let's see. We've got 33 hits on it. We've got 29 in the chat.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So we'll give everyone just here a few minutes.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and get this giveaway. Dennis is donating a bell from the
Piscataquis
River, and Ritchie is donating a 50-cent piece.
And I don't like saying it because it starts with piss.
It's just a word.
Yeah, and anybody whoever wins, just contact me, and my email is in my about section on YouTube. Just send me your address, and we'll get it out to you.
We have just about everybody's address.
Yes, we do
So-
keep anyone
so
we have been in contact
contact
with
with,
or
we
did sticker swaps or what, we keep
their address.
all of that information.
Yeah.
I have my little
We have
black notebook. I don't use a phone or anything other than our landline. Now, let me tell you, I'm
still
old
keep,
school.
We still keep it paper
yeah,
folders.
pen and paper. That's all I need.
So,
Yep.
Otherwise, it'd get lost.
Now, speaking of that,
I'd never be able to find it.
speaking of that, when I got my Cove for Life sticker in the mail,
Yep.
I opened it up, and it was like having that lottery ticket where you just missed it by one number. You remember what number you gave me for?
Wait just a minute, and I'll
off
tell
the
you.
top of my head, no, I
I missed it by 3 numbers.
But we have it written down because I can't keep.
I don't know who got that number, but
Yeah, it'll take her forever to.
I can tell you what.
Just a minute.
Next.
I know Dennis is number 95.
I was number 66.
Oh gosh.
That's right.
And I so bad wanted it to be number 69.
That is right. I remember that now.
I don't know who got number 69, but
Who did get 69?
I have no
you'd have to
clue
get up
who
there
got
and-
69.
You'd have to get up there on that
Ah,
chart and look. Oh, I know. Oh shoot. Is it
I gotta look.
It wasn't Rob, was it?
I don't know.
It might have been.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was what Florida Thunder Digging with Rob got 69.
Yep.
Yep,
Yes, he did.
yep, yeah. I remembered that one. So, yeah.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hey Cynthia.
Is Richie, is that for a year or for something else? Just because it's 69.
no, just for number 69.
Now that's the year I was born.
Yeah,
I
Me
was born
too.
in 68.
Were you?
that was me.
Yeah, I'm
He was born
69.
68. Yeah.
71.
Oh, he's the young one.
He's
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't feel too young, trust me.
If you're just joining, hashtag DFDMM, and we're going to get ready and do this giveaway.
Hey, Johnny Small Pepper.
We'll give you about 30 seconds to get it in there, and we'll do this giveaway and see who's going to win.
Yes. Good luck to everyone.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So take just a few moments, the hashtag DFDMM.
And we'll give them what, about 10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2.
1. Good luck, everybody.
And let's see who we get tonight.
And of course, if it's someone that has recently won, David Alfonsetti. Are you still in the chat? David, I don't think he has won.
I can't say that he has.
He's a local boy.
Taggable, so he's got to be there.
I know he's been in the chat.
No, he has not won.
Nope. Okay. Come on, David.
Come on, David.
David's here.
We're here.
David said, I'm here.
I see him.
Okay,
Congratulations, David.
David, he is not a covert,
He is not a covert.
So, David, which would you like? Do you want your, let me get this off of the screen here. Let me know in the chat if you want your Pledge for Life sticker or a Prospect for Life sticker.
That's our new phase of the Covers.
Our new phase for the Cover Nation and Cover for Life. So let me know which one of those you want, and I'll put that in your winning pack tonight. And plus, you will be receiving a bell from Dennis and a 50-cent piece from Ritchie. So
yes, be sure and pass your information on to Ritchie and
we'll
DF.
need it.
He doesn't have to. I already have it. He won my contest a couple videos ago.
Pledge for Life.
He wants a pledge. Okay.
And I'll put that
And David. Yeah, David, just get hold of me on Facebook.
And you can send your information to Clark's Cove Detecting at gmail.com, David. And
that's all lowercase and all squished together.
Yeah, it's going across the bottom there if you can read it. I know it's hard to read.
It's small.
It's small, but Clark's Cove Detecting at gmail.com, and we'll get that out to you next week. Absolutely. Congratulations, David, and everyone. Thanks, David, for the win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's only fitting you got Dennis and I on, and somebody from Maine wins the contest.
I was gonna say if my name was picked this time, I wouldn't say respin.
Yes, Cynthia, you are an old cover, number 5.
Yes, Cynthia is. Now I have to say, Cynthia has been probably our very first commenter.
Yeah.
When our first
one
video
of the first,
come out, and subscribers, and yes, she is down there, one of our first covers that made Cover for Life.
And we got to hunt with Cynthia at Florida Hunt 7. She was my hunting partner, and then she has family in West Virginia, which I think she probably already went back home, but we never got to get together on this time. But we will again. The weather's just been too hot, except starting today it cooled down.
Yeah, but then it's rained. It's either too hot or it's pouring the rain.
Pouring the rain, yes. Yes.
It was hot today.
It's just a swinging welcome. Thanks for joining us here. And we're still hanging in here. We're going to hang in here for as long as you all want to hang out in the chat. We're here, and as long as Dennis and Ritchie want to hang out, we'll hang out a little bit longer. But I'm going to tell you, when we end tonight, these two are going to bed.
It's been a long day.
No hanging out.
No.
Sorry, anyone from the bar, we're not hanging out.
Yeah, we won't be there this evening.
Straight to the bedroom.
But we definitely wanted to hang over today. We have, again, we are so blessed to have Dennis, DF Digger, and Ritchie Madison Maine with us. I mean, it is an absolute honor to have you guys with us this evening.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Glad you thought of us.
We have had some great channels, and I mean wonderful channels, but you guys are.
I'm not going to say our bit because
regular Joes.
Every channel that we've had has been great, and we appreciate each and every last one of them. And
yes, absolutely.
Just the fact that they will be a part of our live stream
Thank
on
you, Mona.
Saturday nights. I mean, it's an honor because a lot of these channels we have watched, like Ritchie and Dennis, we have been watching.
We were watching before.
Probably before we even become a channel.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
honestly, I mean,
December of 2019 is when we started our channel.
So, and I know Ritchie has videos from 4, 5, 6 years ago and farther back, I think.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah.
So
I don't know how many I got. I think it's over 500 of over 600 videos.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the
I've been
OG.
about
5
years, 4 or 5 years. I just don't really comment that much because I watch on my TV.
Yeah, we dig it. The Wootens, number 28.
Yep.
Excuse me for a moment. The cat is.
She's a digging at something.
I think
back
she's
there.
trying to open the door.
Trying to open the closet door. Get in there. She's
Yeah,
full of
if anybody's local on here, though, the rivers are getting down. So if you guys can get into them, right now is a good time. I'm not sure how it's been down in southern Maine. I know Lewiston, they got flooded out there the other day. So I don't know how the Androscoggin down there would be. But the mountains up here separate a lot of the storms that we get in from the west. A lot of times they'll cut north and south of us. But yeah, right now is a good time.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of rain around here and a lot of flooding, but we haven't been getting hit by it.
No.
It seems like everyone around us.
Eastern Kentucky on
Has been.
Thursday and Friday, I think they were hit hard and some lives were lost. And of course, everyone's homes and stuff. It was, and they were saying it was heading this direction, but we were blessed and never got it.
Yeah, they were talking. I heard them talking on the news there the other night about tornadoes moving more towards the east.
Yep.
More and more states towards the east are starting to see them.
We had one move through here in 2012.
Yep.
And that was scary because we've never really had a tornado come through this area. I mean, we've had the weather, but not one touched down and touched down as far as it touched down, and the destruction that it caused was insane. That night we was at Melissa's cousin's house when it hit. And we didn't know the severity of it was the thing about it.
No, because they were in bathtubs and behind the couch.
And me and Hassel were standing at the door, looking out the door, watching the wind and stuff fly by. And it had touched down just like
blocks.
5 or 6 blocks from their house.
Yeah.
I mean, when we left that night and started heading back home, and the roads were closed, and then when we got home, found out the severity of it, and then even out where we ATV ride, it hit out in there, and it just amazing.
Yeah,
the destruction those things can do.
Yeah, we get 10 to 20 up here in Maine. It doesn't seem like it, but we do get them occasionally. But there's a lot of area up here where there's nobody living.
Right.
So fortunately, it's a lot of wood destruction and stuff. But
they don't last long because
it's too much.
Most of Maine is pretty hilly and mountainous.
Yeah. But when they do touch down, they can take a swath. Unfortunately, a little. I think she was 7 years old. This past storm we had down in southern Maine, she passed away when a tree fell down from the storm onto the car. Yeah. Yeah, they were trying to leave the park to get away from it, but
I think that story made it down here to our local news.
Yeah, you just buckle up and stay inside. Yeah. Usually, what's our worst weather up here is snowstorms. Or icing and stuff. But
those ice storms can take out a lot of power lines.
Yeah, so we had the one back in 2020.
Yeah.
Had the ice storm move through here, and we was out without power for 7 days?
Yes.
That time, but there was people that went a month without power from that. That was when we went to Florida Hunt 7, and we didn't even know if we was going to get out of here or not.
Right.
But the
temperature started taking we waited till the day of. to leave because we wasn't sure about the weather and everything, but the temperature started moving above freezing. So we said, let's head to Florida.
Yeah.
And we did.
It was a mess.
But it was so sad leaving because it was just crazy.
And I know that night that it hit, Melissa wouldn't go outside. I would go out and stand on the porch because it's so eerie. It's so dead silent, and hearing all the trees crackling and falling, it sounded like something from a monster movie. And then you could hear the transformers blowing up in the background.
Yeah.
And it was because we live right in the woods. I mean, we're surrounded by.
Rachel knows. She stayed here with us over a weekend.
And so when you step out there and you just hear nothing but trees falling and cracking and smashing in that ice, it was definitely. I should have filmed just the sounds of it that night.
Well, that Thursday before we left, we rented
a truck
to take to Florida. The truck was wrecked, so we had to wait until 6 o'clock that evening before we were leaving the next day to get another one. And everything looked like you were inside a snow globe.
Around here.
I mean, that's just the effect you had. Everything, you were in a frozen snow globe.
Yeah.
We've always had like tree toppers here in New Jersey, but lately in the past, like I'd say like 5 years, I've noticed an increase in actual touchdowns. Tree toppers is like when it doesn't come all the way down, it just tickles the tops of trees, knocks them over.
Right.
But you know, this is Jersey. You get all 4 seasons in one day.
Yes, it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, weather around here it's crazy at times.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. For our area, for right here around where we're at, like when we had that rainstorm come through here in 2016, and it wasn't even, they didn't even know anything about it. And I mean,
19% chance of rain was predicted that day.
And the little creeks here in front of our house were so overflown that we couldn't get out of our driveway, washed the road out.
We were stranded for 4 days.
4 days.
Yes.
And a neighbor come in with their excavator and a dump truck and took 3 dump trucks of rubble off of our little bridge right down here so we could just get down, start down out of the holler. I mean, it was insane, the water that come out of the hills here, and no one knew about it. So we called the news, and they come out and interviewed us and took pictures of all the damage. And people, I know one neighbor down the road, which I say neighbor, and they're like half a mile down the road.
Yeah, you have to get in your truck and drive.
Their outbuilding was washed like 200 yards down, and it had a 4-wheeler in it. They're riding lawnmower, push mowers, weed eaters, and it picked it up and carried it about 200 yards down the creek, and it was leaning up against. And this is like it was probably like an 8x12 building.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
And it's all leaned up against a tree.
Yeah,
like that. I mean, it was insane, the water that come around here. No one had seen anything like it.
I know. I called our neighbors because we could not get out, and that water we pulled our vehicles up in the front yard, and the water just kept
on, and for 2 hours.
I called our neighbors and I said, we don't know, we might not make it. We may get washed off, but
that was one crazy day.
Yeah. It stopped.
I stayed home for Hurricane Sandy or Superstorm Sandy. I was home.
Yeah.
We had the evacuation thing, and my neighbors stayed right across the street. They stayed home too. They ended up in their attic. There was nothing we could do for them. To get to them, we would have to go through 12 feet of water.
That's right, Shane.
That's not good.
Yeah. So I don't want to ever see rain and water like that again around here. We cleaned up around. We were cleaning up around here for over a month, just trying to get the yard back in shape and the driveway back in shape, and that was a mess. I mean, it absolutely was a mess. I don't want to have to live through nothing like that again.
That's Mother Earth reminding us that she's a living being and she's evolving and changing just like we do.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
she's definitely,
absolutely.
definitely the boss.
Yeah.
She is definitely the boss.
Yeah.
Yes, she
We
is.
humans believe that we can control what happens, and we can't.
No, we're but a speck. That's
Yes.
all we are. We're but a speck.
Yep.
Hey
You are.
Yeah.
guys, my back is aching pretty good right now,
Yeah,
but
we're going to wrap it up. We've been going
Okay.
almost 2 hours.
I was just
tonight.
looking at the time,
So
and
yeah, we're
No.
going to call it a night ourselves because
I feel you on that, Dennis.
once we get up here, we're
heading to the bed.
Heading to
Yes,
the bed.
but we want to thank you guys again for joining us. Those
And
of you in
chat,
chat not
thanks
familiar with
for-
DF Digger Madison Maine, go over and check them out. Let me tell you, you will not be disappointed. You will be entertained.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And yes, Dennis, we hope you get to feeling better.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's all
You as
time.
well, Ritchie. Take care of your health.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for having
Thanks
us
for
on.
having us.
Hey,
Yes. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And good
Have
night
a
to
good
everyone
evening.
in the chat. I miss 100% of it, but
Same here. Sorry about that. All right.
We're just as bad.
I think we got everybody's questions
Uh-huh.
though that had questions, and
Yeah.
any comments. Of course, Rachel, she keeps on that up on that as well. So I think we got everyone.
And the only thing
Covered.
I'm going to say is we have our premiere tomorrow night at 6:30. So if anyone can stop by,
Yeah.
we'd appreciate it. Of course,
We'll be
it'll
there.
still be out there for everyone to watch afterwards if you don't make the premiere. I mean, we're just going to try Sunday night a little bit and see how Sunday evening goes. And
Premieres are
switch
fun.
things up.
I like premieres. It gets people in there talking.
Yep, absolutely.
It's also a good way if you have a long video to get people to watch the whole thing.
They can't skip ahead, can they?
Nope.
What about 15?
Well,
I think like
plus you
15
get instant reaction to what's going on
Exactly.
in your video. That's what I like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
It's more personal.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
But DF, yes, we will let you go on, get out of here,
Yeah.
do what you got to do. And
All right.
Ritchie, thank you again.
Yeah.
I
thanks,
hope
guys.
you were entertained.
Yes, I was.
You all have a good evening.
Yeah.
You too.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Ooh. Where'd my water go?
Okay. Rachel, thanks for joining us again tonight and helping out.
Always
with
a
that.
pleasure.
We
Always
always
a pleasure.
appreciate you.
I know we went over a little longer, but with DF and Ritchie, I mean,
It was. I
Yeah.
wanted to. I wasn't going to just give them an hour and call it quits.
Right.
When you have two channels up like that, and two channels that's people like Dennis and Ritchie and
yeah,
Yeah, they
So,
do.
yeah.
I see that love chat back.
yeah.
Something else, man.
Yeah.
How many times
We
this
want
channel's
that
been
junk food.
reported? This channel has been reported so many times.
Yeah. I've seen it before pop up in other people's.
Yes, David, JP's is open tonight.
Yeah, we're not going over.
We won't be there. We've had a
calling it
long day
day,
and
calling it an
we're
early
going to
night.
turn in early. We've got some things that
Things
need
to
to
do
be done tomorrow.
So we're calling it an early night tonight. But even though we stayed over an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, no hanging out till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning for the carts tonight.
No,
So.
not tonight.
We're not as young as we used to be.
Sometimes you got to take a break from those things.
Yeah, but we want to thank everyone for
Yes.
joining us tonight. It's been a great evening, and as always, go over and check Rachel's channel out,
Yes.
Jersey Ray Diggs. She has her Wednesday night shenanigans at 7:30.
And
Always
then
go
on
over
Friday, she premieres on I Dig Fridays.
and so always
Yep,
give that a
hashtag I Dig Fridays.
always check that out, please. And
And I will be doing a 500 giveaway soon.
Okay.
okay,
Okie
Sounds
doke.
good.
It's gonna be hosted by Juice.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
Yeah, I want it to be wild, so you gotta have Juice doing it.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, Rachel, I'm going to throw you in the back room for a minute. If you want to
All
hang
right,
out
no
for a
problem.
minute,
I'll be
you
here.
can. So
We won't keep you
we
long.
won't keep you long. All righty, Covers, prospects, pledges, and everyone else that watched. I know we still have 15 in the
Yeah.
chat. We want to thank each and every one of
Each
you.
and every
Mona,
one of you.
thanks
Yes,
for
thank you, Mona.
stopping by.
Yes.
Drummond Detect, always. Ed, flashing your
Olin
pan.
Borden.
Olin Borden.
Yes.
Always good to see you in the chat.
David Alfonsetti, congratulations.
Congratulations on your
Las
win.
Vegas, thank you for joining us.
And everyone else that joined us tonight. We always look forward to seeing you guys. And we'll be back next Saturday.
Yes,
with
we have
another
special guests next Saturday.
Conversations here at the Cove.
Yeah.
If you notice, we're kind of changing things up a little bit here at Clark's, and
we like to do that.
Got our premiere tomorrow night instead of
Monday.
Mondays. We're going to try Sunday evening just to do things a little different and change it up, see how that goes, and see how people respond to it. And if you stop by the premiere tomorrow, it's a good video. It's got a couple of bucket listers in it, and I think everyone will enjoy it.
I think so.
So I guess we're going to leave them with that. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and if you're out detecting, be safe, and hope you find gold and silver and all the good things. And anything else? I guess we could leave them with, if you lose it,
we find it.
And we'll see you all on that next good
Cover find.
You all have a good evening and a safe weekend.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
We'll see you next Saturday night.
Yes. See you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.